Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me, cause I ain't going no damn where. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
In my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get mad. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hate everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Sunday Night Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr_A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. And as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. Mike Williams is here, Pearly. Okay, Nessie X, Alice, TT Dan's in the house. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. I know Desmond's here. Okay, Trisha. All right, Pensy Lola. Nita's in Mike's world. All right, let's get it popping, Queen Shay. Okay, M Shanty in the house. About damn time is here. Hot Cocoa. So shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. Okay, let's get this party started. Okay, I see you, Lillian X. All right, TC Dan in the house, Danielle. All right, so let's get it started. Now, first and foremost, how many of you, Marie said, irreplaceably to the left in my Beyonce? Okay, I know, right? Hilarious. Thank you, beloved, for your donation to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so listen. How many of you saw Kabami's rally where she had Beyonce come up there and speak? Once in the chat, if you saw the rally with Beyonce up there speaking for Kabami. Once in the chat. Hey, H-Town to Cali. All right, and then put another one in the chat if you saw Trump talking to Joe Rogan. That interview was 3 hours long. Okay, lots of ones. Okay, so that, hey, 504 Nola, about damn time said I clocked out when Beyonce left. So did a lot of people. Hey, Mary. Okay, so now with that all being said, hey, that crazy beach Aries. Pearl said I did not quit. Okay, so it was all very interesting. And Trump did a 3-hour interview, which is interesting because Kabami, we can barely get her to sit still for 25 minutes for each interview. Have you all noticed that? Her interviews are no longer than 25 minutes. She spends half of that gaslighting, deflecting, and talking about Trump. Okay, please pay attention. And when asked, some of the people that attended her CNN town hall with Anderson Cooper just days ago, some of the people who were undecided were asked how they felt if Kamala had changed their minds. Now, a couple of them said that, yes, she changed their minds. They would vote for her. But the other people, at least 3 of them out of the 5 said that they were not convinced. Okay. To a lot of people, it seems like they still don't know her. Now, she's going to sit down with Shannon Sharp at Club Shay Shay tomorrow. And I, for one, can't wait because this interview is likely going to be over an hour. Okay, now I hope Shannon doesn't ask her softball questions. I want to hear real questions and real answers. I don't want to hear any more gaslighting and deflecting and blaming everything on Trump. We've already heard enough of that. And if she wants to catch up and get her foot back in the race at the end of the day, because from what it looks like, she's not doing so great. Okay, especially after that Joe Rogan interview. Everybody thinks it's all the rage. And I'm going to show you what some people who look like me have said about it. Okay, so with that all being said, and without further ado, before we get started with that, let's get started with this. Kamala Harris on her first priority as president. Okay, and so let's get into it. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. And also, here's the thing. Has anyone noticed, other than myself, that these people that keep coming out, these celebrities that keep coming out trying to convince us of why we should vote for Kabami, these are the same people that are on Diddy's freak-off list. Now, I'm not saying any of them did anything nefarious or engaged in any of the criminal activities that Diddy is accused of. And again, Diddy maintains his innocence. But I find it all very interesting that the only people she can get to garner attention for herself are people who are on Diddy's freak-off list. What do you all have to say about all of that? Okay, what do you all have to, what say you? I mean, I find it interesting, but you know who she didn't get? If she wants to get rappers and all of that to come up there and speak for her, celebrities and all of that, why didn't she get Ice Cube? I mean, I feel it could have been the least that she could have done to get Ice Cube. Ice Cube went in 2020 and sat down before the election, okay? He went and sat down with the Democrats, or tried to sit down with them, went to them to talk to them about a plan, a black agenda for people who look like me. And they told him, wait till after the election. Now, here we are, fast forward, on the heels of a new election, and they still have not ever sat down and talked to Ice Cube, but Trump did. And then people went in on Ice Cube for sitting down with Trump. But at least they sat down and talked to him.
Now she's getting all of these people to come up there and vouch for her and try to convince us of why we should vote for her. But she didn't get Ice Cube, who's like the most pro-black of all the rappers that I can think of. I'm sorry, please make that make sense. Danielle said, I don't believe in coincidences, Queen, and I don't either, beloved. I absolutely do not. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen.
Rally ever. 30,000 people braved 90-degree heat.
And now the Attorney General of Texas is suing the United States government.
To hear her scorching new attack on Texas's strict abortion rules.
On the one hand, Donald Trump won't let anyone see his medical records. And on the other hand, they want to get their hands on your medical records. Simply put, they are out of their mind.
We traveled with the vice president over 2 days for a rare behind-the-scenes look on Air Force Two and the battleground state of Michigan.
I got to ask myself, well, why on earth is this race even close? I lay awake at night wondering what in the world is going on.
Where Michelle Obama campaigned with Kamala Harris for the first time, challenging men to see women's health care as a life or death matter.
If we don't get this election right, your wife, your daughter, your mother, we as women will become collateral damage to your rage.
I pledge to you, when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom nationwide, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law.
And you have been clear that that is a priority. But what you have not been clear on is what that bill would look like. You've talked about restoring Roe versus
But I am
Wade.
very clear.
But you've not said what restrictions you would support.
Let's put back in place Roe versus Wade. This was not an issue. When Roe versus Wade was intact for 50 years, half a century, women together with their physicians were here at a medical office talking with physicians. Women in consultation, if they chose, with their priest, their pastor, their rabbi, their imam.
So you do support restrictions after viability.
I support Roe versus Wade being put back into law by Congress and to restore the fundamental right of women to make decisions about their own body. It is that basic.
But you know, there are restrictions with Roe versus Wade. There were restrictions after viability.
We would not be debating this if Donald Trump had not hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. And what we have seen, as demonstrated last night and every day these last 2 years, is extraordinary harm that has occurred in America, where women have died because of Trump abortion bans, where women who have survived rape and girls' incest, and no exception for someone whose body has been violated to make a decision about what happens to.
Okay, so let me tell you all why that's a whole load of BS. First of all, where's the proof? You can say anything, but Kamala is a liar. Okay, Trump tells lies, and so does she. Now, she wants to sit there and say women have died because of Trump's abortion bans. Where's the proof? Where's the proof that they literally died because of Trump's abortion bans, Kabami? Also, I find it very interesting because haven't some people died from other things of which Biden had something to do with? And y'all know what I'm talking about, and I'm not going to say what, but we all know. So let's not go there. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, let's not go there. And here's the thing. When she's talking about people having, control of their bodies and this and that, well, mandating people to take things that they may not want to take, that's not giving people control of their bodies. And then threatening to put out the information about who got what and who didn't. And then you walk into a building and you have to tell people whether you got the venom. Okay, I'm sorry. What happened to HIPAA? So please pay attention. This woman's a whole hypocrite, and I'm quite frankly sick of it. Okay, there's just a few days left to the election. Okay, and she's still not giving us any conclusive answers to most of the questions that have been asked of her. All she does is continue to gaslight and deflect and blame Trump. Now, here's the thing. In case you missed it, when she first started this campaign about 60 plus days ago, okay, when they handpicked her rather than having an open election, an open nominee panel, to get after they decided to get Biden to step down. Well, when they hand selected her, because she wasn't elected, she was selected. So with that all being said, in the first few days, she was trying at least to talk about policies. She wasn't talking so much about Trump, but then I guess she wasn't getting the reception that she wanted. And so then the Democrats seem to have told her, you know what? Let's just talk about Trump. Just bash him. Now, Trump was already doing that to her, but that's what Trump's always done. So there was no surprise there. And like I told you guys weeks ago, I feel like she should not have stooped to his level. She should have let Trump do what he's always done, and she should have done the opposite. But now she's joined in the melee, but now she's taking it to a whole nother level because it seems like she's, basically obsessed with him. She literally talks about him more than she talks about herself. And he will say things about her, crack jokes and clown her. But what he doesn't do is when somebody asks him a question, blame it on her. He'll start answering the question. Okay, as we saw in the 3-hour Joe Rogan interview. So I just find it all very interesting. At the end of the day, she's not convincing a lot of people. The people that are on the fence, it should have been easy for her to convince them if she stuck to the topic, to the issues, and things like that, and told people what she was going to do, how she was going to do it, what kind of plans she was going to implement, and how she would get these bills and things passed. But she hasn't done any of that. She's just been running her mouth about Trump. So anyway, with that all being said, now she's been talking to the Puerto Ricans. Harris announces Puerto Rico policy targeting mainland voters. Okay, so let's go to this. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
I'm going to create basically an opportunity economy task force for Puerto Rico.
A new CBS poll shows the majority of women are Team Harris, while the majority of men are Team Trump. Over 50% of registered male voters said that Harris is paying too little attention to them.
Let's do this thing.
Harris's running mate, Tim Walz, joined Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for a live stream game of Madden on Twitch, where more than 70% of users are men.
This is the Minnesota Vikings that started out.
And the Harris-Walz campaign is not done with Philadelphia quite yet. Tomorrow, Bruce Springsteen, as well as former President Barack Obama, will be co-headlining a concert in Philadelphia tomorrow night. Vice President Harris, she will be in Michigan. Natasha?
Mills Hayes in Philadelphia, thank you so much. And for more, let's welcome in our panel. We have Dr. Ricardo Rossello, the former governor of Puerto Rico, and Chad Connolly, president of Faith Wins and former chair of the South Carolina Republican Party. Gentlemen, welcome both. Dr. Rossello, I have to ask you, of course, that comedian opening up for Trump's rally tonight, telling a joke that did get boos in the arena. It has been roundly criticized in the hours since. Let's take a listen together.
There's a lot going on. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there.
Dr. Rossello, your reaction tonight.
Natasha, we were just called garbage in Madison Square Garden, no less, the home state of over 1 million Puerto Ricans. This is egregious, it's insulting, and it will cost President Trump if he does not address this. Look, I was governor, proud governor of the island, and I am a current congressional delegate. And our island is quite the opposite of garbage. It is beautiful. Its people are kind. It is an incubator that generates innovation and art. We have a legacy of patriotism, of folks that have given the ultimate price for our nation, and we are proud U.S. citizens. So everyone should reject this sort of statement, starting with President Trump. And I get that Hinchcliffe is a comedian, but he does so in a political stage, in a political rally, not in a committee club. And this is a different context, and there are consequences. So this is not about Tony. It's about President Trump and how he responds to this. Plain and simple, the buck stops with the president. This was dumb. It was senseless. It is uncalled for, and it could very well cost him the election if.
Sorry, but I absolutely disagree. Now, the joke was tasteless and it wasn't funny. Quite frankly, it was lackluster. But at the end of the day, how's he blaming Trump for a joke that that man told? And why does Trump have to address a joke at the end of the day? Now, if Kabami had done that, if that had been her that invited that man and told that joke, they wouldn't be saying anything. But they always try to overblow anything that Trump has anything to do with. Now, that's just my opinion. At the end of the day, it was just a lame joke. Tasteless, but lame as well. Okay. Job for Nine said it will not cost him anything. I mean, right. How is a joke that somebody else told gonna cost him anything? Here's the thing. I want you all to pay attention because I find it interesting that he's sitting up there saying that if Trump doesn't come out and speak against that joke. Well, here's my question. Why the hell is nobody saying anything? Nobody is saying a word about that Israeli agent, okay, Mossab Youssef, who made a threat to United States politicians. How come Kabani and Biden haven't addressed that? That's a clear and present threat that he made. How come they're not saying anything about that? How come they're not saying that may cost her the election if her and Biden don't address it? But guess what? After that was said, then it came out maybe a day or two later that NATO is saying that they're going to defend Israel against Iran, and any countries that help Iran is going to become enemies of the West. So are they, Biden, his administration, going to continue sending money after this man has threatened the United States politicians and they're not going to address it? I have a whole lot of questions. It's all I'm saying. Okay, a joke being told that was tasteless is one thing, but somebody threatening politicians in the United States if they don't do what they want them to do and when they want them to do it, okay, after you've given them billions of dollars, please make that make sense, sir. Okay, I have a lot of questions.
If he does not address this.
Okay, I appreciate you putting that into perspective for us. What would satisfy you? What are you going to be listening for from Mr. Trump? Do you wish he had walked out onto this stage tonight and addressed it directly then? If the statement comes out later tonight, by tomorrow, saying, these were not my words, I reject them, I respect the people of Puerto Rico, is that enough for you?
Yep. I mean, President Trump has used his social media platforms very effectively. I think this is one such time where he could elevate the message and reject the statement of a comedian and recall his love for the people of Puerto Rico, because there is a lot at stake. And Natasha, if you do not denounce this strongly, this is what you're saying. This is what you're supporting. That one of the highest per capita participations in the military in the United States is garbage. That over 6 million voters in the United States that are Puerto Rican, they're garbage. That almost 1/3 of those voters were born in the island, so they have close ties to the island.
Yeah, and Dr. Rosselló, you bring up really important statistics, and I want to get Chad in here on this because both Harris and Trump are competing for Puerto Rican communities in Pennsylvania in particular, this all-important swing state. We know more than 400,000 Puerto Ricans live there. Was this an unforced error tonight?
Well, look, I think that my guess is some campaign consultants getting chewed out right now. I think for President Trump, though, this all goes back to how people feel about the economy. 62% believe the economy is getting worse. 52% said that they believe they're worse off than they were 4 years ago. President Trump's message will resonate. I'm sure he'll correct that situation, but people are worried about their pocketbooks. And I'm watching the trends and all the momentums with President Trump right now. All you got to do is look at the early voting, and although we don't know all the specifics, when you just look at the head-to-head, President Trump versus Hillary, then Biden, and then Kamala Harris, he's doing much, much better in these overall polls. Even some people even saying he may win the popular vote. And when you start breaking that down into the states, President Trump's doing really, really well. I don't know if you're watching Nevada, where Republican early vote is outpacing Democrats. That's unprecedented. They're even kind of sweating the Senate race. In Pennsylvania, it's not unusual for Democrat early vote to outpace Republican early vote. What is unusual is 30% of the early vote is Republican. That's unprecedented too. And you go right down the list in the other states, people are going to vote their pocketbooks, and they realize that they were better off under President Trump than they have been under the failures of Biden and Harris.
We did hear Trump starting with, were you in a better place 4 years ago?
Okay, she tried to cut that off real quick when she saw that that man wasn't saying what she wanted him to say about Trump. Did y'all catch that? Because I did. Now, at the end of the day, look, that was a tasteless joke, like I said. But the bottom line is it was a joke, okay? And Trump didn't have anything to do with the man saying it, as far as I'm concerned. But what I want to know is why Kabami got up there and they said she had a fake Philly accent. Did y'all hear about that? Honey, this is a new one because we already know she had that Jamaican accent, then she had the Southern drawl, and then Miami just doesn't know who she wants to be. So now she's getting dragged for filth because they said she had a fake Philly accent at a church event, no less. So let's get into it, honey, because Kabami is a whole mess.
And I have faith he is going to carry us forward, and the road ahead won't be easy. It will require perseverance and hard work. But in times of uncertainty, scripture reminds us weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. The path may seem hard, the work may seem heavy, but joy cometh in the morning, and church morning is on its way. God bless you. God bless America.
About damn time said, not her preaching, okay? Not joy cometh in the morning. Shanty said, this offended me. I cannot stand this one. Honey, I can't stand her either. Now she wants to talk about joy coming in the morning after she just told those Christians to go down the street. Please sit down somewhere, Kabami, okay? No one's buying what you're selling, and that's just what it is. Now let us continue. Listen to Beyonce.
I'm not here as a celebrity. I'm not here as a politician. I'm here as a mother. A mother who cares deeply about the world my children and all of our children live in. A world where we have the freedom to control our bodies. A world where we're not divided. Our past, our present, our future merge to meet us here.
To think that the men that
So Beyonce, please sit down somewhere. Weren't you at the freak offs? I'm sorry, you and Jay-Z. I have several questions. Okay. Now Amber Rose is upset. Amber Rose said that Beyonce copied her speech. Now, the speeches didn't sound anywhere near alike as far as I'm concerned, but I must admit that Amber did a better job, okay? Amber sounded authentic, like she believed what she was saying. Beyonce just sounded scripted. She was reading from a teleprompter, and it all just sounded like she really didn't have any passion behind the words, like she was just saying the words because that's what she was given to say. Now, that's just my 2 cents, okay? Oh, Twisted Logic said, how much did you get paid, B? Well, they said she got paid allegedly $10 million. Now, that's what the report said, that she got paid $10 million. Okay, I don't know if that's what she got or not, but they said she got paid $10 million, got up there and spoke for 3 minutes and 47 seconds to be exact. And people were pissed because they had posted it as if they had, advertised it as if she was going to be performing, and which she did not. You ought to pay attention to the caption because it said, what did you expect to happen when you lured them there with Beyonce and she didn't even perform? If they really paid her $10 million, she should absolutely have performed, okay? $10 million for talking for 3 minutes and 47 seconds? So she says we got work to do. Okay, yeah, absolutely. We do have work to do. How many times does she have to tell us though? Pearlie says, Queen, the streets is saying the crowd was chanting Trump. Also, yeah, they were. They were. Those people came there to see Beyonce, not her. It's very interesting that she has to invite these big time celebrities to her rallies just to draw in a crowd. Those 30,000 people were there because they thought Beyonce was going to perform. And when she didn't, they started chanting Trump, booing her, and then a lot of people left. Okay, that's what the reports are saying. Don't blame me. I'm just giving you what they said. Now let's hear what Kelly had to say. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. I'm going to put an overlay on this because at the end of it, they're going to show something that is probably copyrighted. Hold on. Let me just put this on here real quick. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share.
Make our own decisions about our bodies. Houston, we are grabbing back the pen.
Feel free to hate on me. Sit back there and say my hair ain't luxurious when you know it is, bitch.
So they called Kelly Rowland. They called her Cat Williams. They said that's what she was dressed like, Cat Williams. So these people are something else. But now let's hear what people had to say about Beyonce showing up. Okay, let's get into it. Let's see if the people were convinced, if they take Beyonce's word or advice to go and vote for Kabami. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Man, Kamala Harris looked so sad when Beyonce walked off that stage because she knew that all those people really came to see Beyonce and not listen to her piss poor speech that she's been saying and regurgitating for the last 3 months. This woman does not take accountability and responsibility for the last 3.5 to 4 years of this horrible, horrible, horrible economy, the inflation, the housing, the border, man, the wars, everything is on her and Joe Biden. And she thinks that people wants to vote for that again. So all she has to talk about, y'all, is freedom to have ABs. I think some people are starting to wake up. Yeah, Kamala looked very sad when Beyonce left that stage.
Yeah, she was sad. At the end of the day, that thing went left real quick. Okay, please pay attention. But let's continue.
We must vote. And we need you.
Is anybody gonna tell them, or y'all gonna leave it up to me? All right, I'll do it. Nobody cares about celebrities anymore. Yes, I said that. Yes, believe it. I said it. We don't follow what celebrities are doing. We now are free thinkers and we go by the beat of our own tune. We see the control here. And we knew that this was going to happen. See, now 90% of the population has caught on. We are no longer sheep. We are not going off of your ideologies and your beliefs, okay, for any celebrity. We think for ourselves. That's what we do now. We do that. So, with all due respect, Beyonce, you and Jay-Z, y'all go back under the hole and deal with this diddler situation. Am I wrong or am I right? Let me know down in the comment section below.
Nobody told him to go deal with a diddler situation. All of these people endorsing her are at Diddy's freak offs. Okay, please pay attention. Allegedly. Now, that all been said, Desmond says they're going in on Shannon and Kabami on YouTube. I figured that was coming. I knew it was coming, in fact. Okay, I mean, what do you expect? Okay. But I will be tuned in to see what this is all about and how she fares under an hour-long interview as opposed to 25 minutes. And if it's an hour-long interview, I'm going to venture to guess that it's probably going to be 45 minutes of bullshit, gaslighting, deflecting, and blaming everything on Trump as per usual. Okay, thank you, Desmond, for your insight into the topic and your donation to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Now let's hear what this sister had to say about Beyonce and Kabami.
Happy Thursday. So I see it going on my news feed that Beyonce is coming to Kamala's rally. I don't give a goddamn. She could have been coming to the damn White House, flying to goddamn Mars. I don't give a damn. Beyonce, stay in your lane, do what you do. I know she has her fan base, and I know y'all goo gaga over goddamn Beyonce, but I'm starting to think these people that's in this P. Diddy lineup and in this, what you call the man? The other man that was doing the things, Jeffrey Epstein, whatever. I think they are all rallying behind Kamala for protection. For protection. To even see Usher down there in Georgia rallying for fucking Kamala. Usher, we wouldn't care who the goddamn president is. We still got questions for you. How did you escape Diddy Playhouse? And what was the agreement when you left Justin Bieber there? Guys, these celebrities are not gods. These celebrities do not live the life that we live. These celebrities don't have to deal with what we got to deal with. These people live on a totally different realm, in a total, they don't live like us. They're not like us, okay? They got their own little crew up there where they doing their own little thing because they're not on our levels. So don't get that misconstrued. Don't think, oh, because Beyonce, now y'all want to go rally up and vote for Kamala. I know they listen, you can love her music. There's nothing wrong with loving her music. If you love Beyonce, you're a fan of Beyonce, but do not let Beyonce have a say-so on what you and who you decide to vote for. She has nothing to do with that. Just like you don't have nothing to do with her personal business. She make music, she deliver, you guys enjoy it, and you listen to her music. That's it. But y'all regular daily life, she's just like Taylor Swift. They don't know. They don't care. They are backing Kamala because they're trying to stay at the crossfire. But baby, let me tell you something. God is about to expose everything. Ain't no hiding behind Kamala. We want to know what the hell y'all been up to. Jay-Z, and not only that, it can never die out because as long as Jaguar Wright is living, she ain't gonna never let up. Jaguar Wright wouldn't care who the damn president is. She is not gonna stop talking, and I pray that God protect her. But for y'all to be rallying, I really feel in my heart you guys are rallying behind Kamala because y'all looking at her as a way for her to take the attention off of you guys. Maybe she gonna get the people to sweep the stuff under the rug and keep quiet. No, baby. The will of God is going to be done. The will of God is going to be done because Jesus is Lord.
Oh, y'all heard what she said. Okay, no lies detected. Okay, with that all been said, Mike Lewis says, remember, Queen, if all else fails, stop counting the votes and declare the winner 2 weeks later or 2 weeks after the selection. Exactly. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised, beloved. Absolutely. And thanks for your contribution to the channel and your insight to the topic. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, I find it all nefarious at the end of the day. And speaking of them trying to hide out from Diddler, yeah, that's probably exactly what it's all about. I would have to venture to guess. Now, and speaking of that, we're going to get into it but first off, let's get to this because I told you guys I told you guys already that Trump used to be friends with Diddy. I told you all that Trump used to be friends with Diddy. I showed you the pictures, and I showed you where Trump asked Aubrey O'Day when she was on The Apprentice how she liked Diddy. Okay, and she said she'd rather not answer or whatever. And Trump said, "Well, he's a good guy." He said, "I like him." Well, yeah, Trump liked him, and so did Kabami. So let's not act like it's all on Trump, because I'm going to show my receipts. Please pay attention. Now, Dr. Rashad Ritchie did a video about Trump being at the freak-offs. But who else was at the freak-offs? Because according to Allie Carter, she said Obama was there too, and Oprah. Now, this is all alleged, mind you, but that's what she said. Okay, so if we're going to call out one, let's call them all out how I see it. Now, let me put this overlay on here because I don't have permission, even though this is a TikTok. I don't want any smoke.
According to a new allegation, Donald Trump, former president of the United States, Republican nominee for president currently, was in fact at P. Diddy's freak-off parties. Let's put it up full mass. Now, once again, this is currently an allegation, but according to the new allegations, former President Donald J. Trump has been linked to Sean Diddy Combs and his wild, infamous parties. The claims come from Adria Sherry English, an adult entertainer who recently filed a civil lawsuit against Combs, accusing him of orchestrating freak-off parties where she was allegedly forced to perform sexual acts with guests.
You know how.
Now, with that all being said, well, thank you, Dr. Rashad Ritchie, for that tidbit of information. You know, I'm a fan of Dr. Rashad Ritchie, not of Kabami's though, but let me continue. Now, so with that all being said, let's talk about it, because Jaguar Wright said that Kabami has ties to Diddy too. Now, of course, this is all alleged.
Nobody's talking about the fact that old Kamala Harris has ties to the diddler. And his Howard parties, where a lot of AKAs attended. Maybe they're all ordering pizza again.
It's good to be with you this evening. Sean, I want to thank you because you always have a way of convening and bringing folks together.
I think we all have emotion because we have a pandemic jumping on top of multiple epidemics already in our community. And somebody needed to step up and sound the alarm. And I just want to give thanks and praise to you, brother, to have the platform that you have and to have the heart that you have. It's unbelievable that you're going to be able to, I think, maybe save a bunch of lives tonight. I've got a chance to spend time with Diddy. The passion and the love that this brother has for our survival, for our success, for our thriving, and our growth is unmatched, and we're just getting started.
Okay, so y'all heard that. I'm sorry. She called Diddy by his first name, Sean. That's what she said. Thank you, Sean. Okay, they were praising him, honey. Please sit down somewhere. Because, yeah, Trump was at those parties, perhaps, allegedly. But according to Jaguar Wright, she was at some of those Howard parties that had. Who knows what was going on there is all I have to say. But let's continue. Now, before I go to this next clip, let's have a word from our sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so you can purchase your 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com, go to Lisa Crafts, and also at Walmart.com. Now, with that all being said, Make sure you tune in the morning because I'll be giving you the latest updates on Diddy. Apparently, he did not get that gag order that he was trying to get for the feds, okay, leaking information. He didn't get that. So we're going to talk about Diddy in the morning. And then also on the backup channel, we're going to be covering Lil Durk. What's going on with him? Because it's getting all crazy real quick. Okay, please pay attention. Now let's continue. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Doesn't cost you a thing.
Beyonce, I don't care if you're at the rally of Camilla. I don't give a flying fluck if you were freedom, freedom, I don't give a flying fluck. You and Kelly out there supporting a black woman like a black woman should be supported. But one thing about it, and two things for sure, she still can't answer questions. She still don't even know her damn policies. And damn for sure she said, I would not change anything Joe Biden has done in the last 4 years. Bitch, you got me fucked up. Bitch, right there, you can never save her, Beyonce. Unfortunately, it's a dismiss and try again, bitch.
That video was absolutely ghetto. Okay. But anyway, I digress. Okay, Grumpy Knuckles says, let's not forget there were 3 levels to the parties. After party, there's the after party. After it, just get started. Early days weren't as reckless. Exactly. Exactly. Let's not forget that. You're absolutely right, beloved. Thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. You're absolutely right. There was different levels to those parties. Okay. Now, with that all being said, let's listen to what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. had to say, and I'll be darned if he didn't say exactly the same thing I said almost verbatim, the same thing I've been telling you guys since September the 27th of 2024 when the DOD Directive 5240.01 came out and most people didn't even pay attention to it. I told you all exactly what he's about to say. So please pay attention. Okay, he said this a couple of days ago.
Say one other thing. President Harris said today in her post, in her speech, she said that President Trump was going to turn the U.S. military against the American public and use the public to promote his agenda. How many of you think that is true? Well, what's interesting to me is that the Biden-Harris administration has done something 2 weeks ago that has never been done in American history, which is to send exactly lethal force, to send a directive to the Pentagon, changing the law to make it legal for the U.S. military to use lethal force against American citizens on American soil. Technically, now it's legal for the U.S. military under this directive. It will become legal for the U.S. military to shoot and kill Americans who engage in political protests because they disagree with policies in the White House. I'm not making this up. Any of you can look it up. This is a Democratic initiative. This did not come during the Trump administration. This did not come from Donald Trump. It came from the Democratic Party. And that's why I left the Democratic Party.
So y'all heard that? That man said that's why he left the Democratic Party. You know, and his family was trying to shame him and all of that, you know, because they've been Democrats throughout their history. But they were trying to shame him for leaving the Democrats to go and work with Trump. At the end of the day, she's talking about Trump's dangerous, but I'm sorry. I don't know what's more dangerous than that. The thought of our own military being weaponized against United States citizens as if they're going to war with us. Meanwhile, this man who's a Mossad agent, Mossad Yusuf, can threaten United States politicians and nothing is said about that. It's crickets from the White House at this point. So what do you all have to say about that? While they're talking about who's dangerous, I have several questions, okay? Who's really dangerous here? And even Jill Stein supposedly said that Kamala was dangerous, okay? Kamala, not Trump. That's all I'm saying. I absolutely think that she is dangerous. I absolutely think that she is. First of all, make it all make sense. Okay, likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Now I'm about to show a clip from the Joe Rogan podcast with Trump. I'm going to put an overlay on here. I'm not going to show the video. I'm just going to play the audio because I don't want any smoke with YouTube, honey. Y'all know how YouTube stay hating on the queen. Okay, please pay attention.
The Trump stuff is just that the people look at the inflammatory things he says, the crazy shit, and they define him by that. But you also have to remember this is a very bizarre combination of an entertainer and a businessman. So it's an entertainer that, like, he's like a comedian, man. He says funny shit. He does it all the time. He's always, when he makes fun of Biden,
Constantly roasting.
He's funny,
He's
man.
New York. He's very New York.
I mean,
He's
the
a
fact
New
that
Yorker.
The nicknames he gives to people, that they have to be
Tampon
funny.
Tim.
Yeah. If they weren't, if it wasn't funny, he wouldn't use it. Like Tampon Tim.
But my point is,
Hold on.
people don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
And they want to pretend that all these other people are somehow or another like morally better because you don't get to see the real them. Like, I don't buy that. I don't think you should either. I don't think that's how people really are. I think, and when you see over and over and over and over again, the media manipulating things and lying about things to make him seem way worse than he
Call
is.
him Hitler.
You should be suspicious.
Yes.
You should be
There's a
real
reason
suspicious.
why they're doing that.
Exactly. 'Cause
Joe,
they don't want to lose that job. They're in desperado mode now.
Did you have a different perspective after? Like you don't know him well, right?
I don't know him at all.
But
I
after sitting
literally
down for 3
never
hours-
had a conversation with him other than "nice to meet you, sir." And he complimented me. I said, "Thank you. You're really good at this UFC stuff." You know,
Yeah,
like
no
that kind of
shit.
thing. Like, thank you.
But
Thank you.
after
Okay, so now let's go to a clip. And here's the thing I want you all to pay attention to. Joe Rogan was not a Trump fan. Okay, he was speaking favorably for Kabami in the first place. But now it looks like he's changed his mind because he's not with her trying to censor people. Okay, and I'll play him talking about that.
Tariffs. It'll
Did
keep
you just float out the idea of getting rid of income taxes and replacing it with tariffs?
Well, okay.
Were you serious about that?
Yeah, sure. But why not? Because ready? Our country was the richest relatively in the 1880s and 1890s. A president who was assassinated named McKinley. He was the tariff king. He spoke beautifully of tariffs. His language was really beautiful. We will not allow the enemy to come in and take our jobs and take our factories and take our workers and take our families unless they pay a big price. And the big price is tariffs. And he'd speak like that, but he was right. And then around in the early 1900s, they switched over stupidly to, frankly, an income tax. And you know why? Because countries were putting a lot of pressure on America. We don't want to pay tariffs. Please don't you? You know, believe me, they control our politicians. If you look at the kind of numbers that these guys make then and now, but we had a commission meeting in the I think it was 1887. Think of this problem. We were so rich. We had so much money. We didn't know what to do. So they set up a blue ribbon commission on tariffs. And the sole purpose is what to do with all the money we had. We were so rich because we were taxing other people for coming in and taking our jobs. And China does it. That's what China did. If you want to open a factory and sell cars, if you build a factory here or have a factory, they don't take our cars. They wouldn't take our cars. But if you build a plant in China, you can do that. Elon did that. By the way, Elon is great. That guy is such a great guy. I think you're a fan of
love
Elon.
him.
He is.
Okay, so you all heard that. Now, you all heard that, and what do you think? Because at the end of the day, they're trying to act like Trump's crazy. They said Trump has dementia. He's unhinged. They said all these things, but seems like he was talking fine as far as I'm concerned. Now, let's get into what Joe Rogan had to say about Kabami trying to censor people. With that all being said, hold on, beloveds. Let me put an overlay on this. I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go.
that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation. And that has to stop.
Okay, right away.
Yeah.
There's no way to misconstrue that.
What does that mean?
Oversight
Yeah.
and regulation for free speech is ridiculous.
Yeah, totally.
Just that alone, there's no way to misconstrue that, right? What
Mhm.
she was saying is what I was thinking she was saying. She was saying she wants government oversight and regulation for social media.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
It's crazy for anyone to want it, because if the only reason you want it, right, is because you agree with the ideological bent of the platform, wait until someone else is in charge of it, or wait until there's a different government in charge.
It's also saying that the very thing that Mark Zuckerberg regrets should be happening.
Mhm.
Like, she's essentially saying, why should they have different rules for Facebook than they do for Twitter?
Mhm.
Like, what rules? Like,
What
we
rules?
don't have rules. We have First Amendment rights of free speech.
Okay, so please pay attention, because at the end of the day, you know, every time she says that Trump's trying to take away democracy, it's really laughable, because that's exactly what she's trying to do. That's what her and Biden did in 2020 when they started censoring social media, and you can't say anything against their narrative that they love to push. Okay, and I find it all interesting. But now let's go to what some people had to say, specifically people who look like me, about what they had to say about the interview that Trump sat down for with Joe Rogan. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
All right, so I watched the Donald Trump interview with Joe Rogan, and I have to tell you, that man, Donald Trump, is so intelligent. He's so wise. He's so charismatic. He's so handsome. He's everything that I said he is. He's handsome. He's good looking. He's tall. He's funny. He's charismatic. He's smart. He's intelligent.
First of all, what? First of all, he's saying Trump's handsome and charismatic and this and that and that. Sir, if you think Trump's handsome, okay, please keep that to yourself. We just want to know what you thought of the interview, but let's continue.
Intelligent, a great businessman. He understands things. He has a high IQ. You can tell that he just has an intuitive understanding of life. I love this man. He said a lot of good points. He addressed all the issues. He didn't run from anything. He didn't run from the UFO stuff. He didn't run from the JFK files. He didn't run from anything that Joe Rogan brought up. And I love that. It was a great interview. I wonder, did y'all watch it? What do y'all think about the interview? I thought it was great. I loved it. It was a really interesting one. Shout out to y'all that recommended me to watch it instead of waiting a few days to watch it. It was really good, man. Joe Rogan's a great interviewer. I love his amazing skills that he has. Donald Trump is the best interviewee I probably ever witnessed, besides maybe this man named Graham Hancock.
Now, so let me tell you all, after he did that video, someone told him that Trump had dementia. And he said he's just somebody who has dementia or something like that. And then this is what he had to say.
There's no way you actually watched this interview, because if you did, you would have saw that Donald Trump did not have dementia. His ability to recall information and data like he did is amazing. His ability to use strong words, good vernacular skills is amazing. His propensity towards intelligence and being able to explain things the way he does is amazing. His ability to weave, meaning like interconnect things together and make them all make sense, that's a gift. That's a skill set he has. Him knowing when to interject, when to use hand signs. This man is literally a master at this. If you watch carefully and you know what you're looking at, but if you don't know what you're looking at, then you're going to think he has dementia like you do. And it's okay. I mean, I know you're just probably a troll anyways, but in all seriousness, Donald Trump is really intelligent. He has a high IQ. I'm pretty sure of that. Way higher than mine. I'm not going to say mine, but mine's over 120. I'll just say that. But Donald Trump is really smart, okay? It's over 120, but Donald Trump is really smart, and he's gifted. But that's all I got to say, guys. I'm not going to make this too long, but when I see comments like this, I want to address them because you're misinformed, sir, and I think you should do more research.
Okay, so y'all heard what he said, honey. He clearly loves Trump. He clearly loves Trump. Please pay attention.
I think this Joe Rogan and Donald Trump interview is putting a nail in Kamala's coffin. Donald Trump is breaking down tariffs, how to save money, what's going on in China, Japan. Kamala don't know anything about how to grow money and how to save money. Nothing. Wow, so I sleep late on Sunday.
Hold on, beloveds. So she thinks that has just messed up Kamala's chances of winning. Please pay attention.
Did y'all catch that epic interview that Joe Rogan did with your boy Donald J. Trump tonight on the Joe Rogan podcast? I don't care what you think about Donald Trump, but I guarantee you that that interview alone will go down in history as one of the greatest of all times. All right, y'all. The interview was literally only on YouTube for 2 hours at this point, and it already has over 3 million views. So while your girl Kamala Harris was out there in Houston throwing a free concert with Beyonce Knowles and Kelly Rowland, your boy Donald Trump sat down with Joe Rogan for 3 hours trying to make America great again. Not only did he sit down with Joe Rogan, after he left that interview, y'all, he literally went to Michigan to do another presidential rally, okay? That interview was so thought-provoking and mind-blowing. He absolutely crushed it, okay? When I tell y'all that the swamp goes deep and he is ready to drain it when he get in office, now I understand why these people do not want him to be the next president of the United States, because if he does, it's going to be over for a lot of them. And if you watch the interview, y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all, it's over for the Democrats at this point. Make sure y'all go out and do y'all big one and vote big, because we literally only have 8 days to the election. And if it's too big, it cannot be rigged, y'all. Donald J. Trump for president. This interview is epic. Go watch it.
Okay, so y'all heard that, honey. They are raving over Donald Trump's interview on Joe Rogan. I'm seriously serious. And here's the thing. He asked him about UFOs, the Kennedy files, and all of that stuff. Now, can you all imagine had Joe Rogan sat down with Kabami and asked her those sorts of questions? She probably would have just gotten up and taken off running. Okay? She likely would have gotten up and taken off running because she can't even answer simple questions. And what gets me is the questions that she's asked are repetitive questions that she's been asked before. And each time she simply gaslights and deflects. Now, what it says to me is that she doesn't really want us to know what she thinks, that she's possibly afraid of saying the wrong thing and ticking off a certain, demographic of people, perhaps, because she just won't say anything that's substantive. She just gaslights and deflects. And so let's get into this, because they have the insight. People are giving their insight on her, or their thoughts, shall I say, on her town hall.
She doesn't want to answer a question. Her habit is to kind of go to word salad city, and she did that on a couple of answers.
You think she'd be prepared to do this by now. What's a mistake you've made? Nothing. What's a weakness you have? Nothing. What's the first law you want to pass? Nothing. What's a policy difference between you and Joe Biden? Nothing. Over and over and over. Empty, empty, empty. If she were an animal, she'd be a duck-billed platitude.
Well, I'll just tell you what I'm hearing from people who I have been talking to, and that is that if her goal was to close the deal, they're not sure she did that. And, some people have asked, is she being held to a different standard? Maybe, but that's maybe the world that she's living in. And on the question of who she is, people are understanding that a little bit more. But what she will do, the question about her legislative priorities, name one, there wasn't one. Some more of her personality and her sort of character questions about your weaknesses, or what mistakes did you make? Not necessarily the answers there. Having said that, any time that she can be in front of an audience and interacting with voters is a win as far as her campaign goes. And they are very happy about that.
Donald Trump is more popular than he's been. He's now in this race, his political standing is higher in this race at this point than it was in 2016 or 2020. And so she does need to push Donald Trump down. Okay. That is her priority. She does need to try to disqualify Donald Trump. Try to remind people who voted for Trump in 2016 and Biden in 2020, who are thinking about going back to Trump because of their pre-COVID Trump economy nostalgia, or he's done the job before and I don't know her. She needs to remind them of that. But that's what voters ask you. Who is she? Where I think she fails sometimes is to connect it more to her policies. Right.
Yeah, I was listening to the questions from the voters, and a lot of them centered around the same couple of concerns. They're worried that she's too liberal. They want to know how she might work with Republicans. What would Washington be like with Kamala Harris as president? And you heard her repeat time and time again, she wants to be practical. She likes common sense solutions. She's willing to work with the other side of the aisle. I thought that was actually what she needed to do tonight. She needed to say that a lot in response to some of these questions. The thing that I think that kind of got her tripped up at certain times was when certain voters were asking to drill down actually on some policy, and she didn't want to go there, didn't want to get into some specifics. And you might understand why that is, but it's tough for her because I think that that comes across as evasive to some voters who are looking, they just want to know, are my taxes going to go up if I make $500,000 a year or not? It's very tricky for her. So, I thought that they knew what they needed to do and she did it. But to your point, John, in a way, when she answered that question about what is my weakness, and the answer was basically like, I get a lot of inputs from a lot of people and I like a lot of information, her answers read that way. I kept looking for what is the 30-second summary of this answer. And sometimes she would get to it all the way at the very end. It's really a kind of inverted pyramid sort of thing. She needs to get to that at the
That's why
Sorry, but she's lackluster at the end of the day. Okay, Lisa Jackson says one of her answers would be that she grew up listening to JFK Sr. Let's be clear. Okay. Thank you for your insight into the topic, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. I mean, Kamala just can't think of anything significant to say, in my opinion. And she just, the word salad, and not that guy said she takes us to word salad city. But that's exactly what she does. Okay, please pay attention. If she would just answer one serious question, without gaslighting or deflecting, just answer it directly. Like people don't know what she really thinks. And it's like she's afraid to let people know what she thinks. So, I just can't trust it.
Do you see something in that?
I mean, is that profound because it rhymes? I mean, look, she doesn't have to.
I do think it was very well said.
She doesn't have to be flawless, but she has to give you something. I mean, she's like a true double threat. She's terrible on her feet when she gets unexpected questions, and simultaneously, she can't even answer the expected questions. It's nothing, nothing, nothing. You think she'd be prepared to do this by now. What's a mistake you've made? Nothing. What's a weakness you have? Nothing. What's the first law you want to pass? Nothing. What's a policy difference between you and Joe Biden?
Just the same old same every single time. Okay, we all saw that town hall. It was disastrous. And like I told you, she was there to try to win over people who were on the fence, people who were thinking about voting from the couch. And she just didn't do it because only two of those people out of the
Is
five
there
that
something
she
you can
spoke
point to in your life?
I'm sorry, only two of the people out of the five that she spoke to, said they would vote for her. The other people said she still has not convinced them. And I can clearly see why.
Is there something you can point to in your life, political life, or in your life in the last 4 years that you think is a mistake that you have learned from?
I mean, I've made many mistakes, and they range from if you've ever parented a child, you make lots of mistakes too. In my role as vice president, I mean, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
I'm sorry. Please make it all make sense. Now, here's what they had to say about her. Hold on. Likes up, everyone, please. Don't forget to like and share. This is what other people had to say about her town hall.
Okay.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I mean, I don't. But let's move on. People have to earn it. And that's the point that I think is the most important point that can be made, which is we need a president who is grounded in common sense and practical outcomes. Like, let's just fix this thing. Let's just fix it. Why is there any ideological perspective on this? Let's just fix the problem.
To fix the problem, you're doing this compromise bill. It does call for $650 million that was earmarked under Trump to actually still go to build the wall.
I'm not afraid of good ideas where they occur.
So you don't think it's stupid anymore?
I think what he did and how he did it did not make much sense because he actually didn't do much of anything.
Sorry, what the hell did she just say? I think what he did and how he did it, because he actually didn't do much of anything. Girl, you actually didn't say much of anything, if I may be so bold as to. Okay, just put it out there. This is all crazy. Okay, I'm Reverend Christ says, Queen, doesn't Kamala remind you of Michael Scott from The Office? She absolutely does. Now that you mention it, beloved, okay? She absolutely does. Okay. Thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings.
I just talked about that wall, right? We just talked about it. He didn't actually do much of anything.
But you do want to build some wall.
I want to strengthen our border.
Wow, she can't even answer the question as to whether or not she wants a wall. It is so ridiculous. This is peak political theater, and I don't know how we are not all watching this and understanding exactly what's happening. She's literally bobbing and weaving from answering a very simple question as to what should be done here. It is so ridiculous to hear it out loud. She says she's willing to point out a good idea when she sees one, but cannot answer the question as to whether or not she would be willing to build a wall. And it's because they know they've created this issue and they know that Trump had things under control, and they cannot say that out loud, because to say something good about Donald Trump is to what? It will fly in the face of your entire campaign. All the work that you've been doing to call him a threat to democracy, to say that he's essentially Hitler, that no longer works if you have to talk about a good idea and an idea that you stopped that created further issues for every American citizen.
Okay, also nefarious. Okay, but let's hear what this gentleman has to say. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. I'm loving this. How about y'all?
I want you to meet Jackson Weiss, who's a student at Drexel University from Flourtown, Pennsylvania, registered Republican, says he's leaning toward voting for you, but has yet to make a final decision. Jackson.
Thank you, Anderson.
Hey, Jackson.
Thank you for taking the time to be here too, Vice President Harris.
Thank you.
Regarding the rapid increase in the migrant population, how will you ensure that every immigrant is integrated into American society safely? What benefits and subsidies will you provide them with? And how long will these benefits and subsidies last for an individual? Most importantly, will the American citizens' taxes pay for these benefits and subsidies? And if so, how much money will be allocated?
Well, thank you, Jackson. Let's start with this. America's immigration system is broken and it needs to be fixed. And it's been broken for a long time. And part of what we need to do is always prioritize what we need to do to strengthen our border. I will tell you, I'm the only person in this race among the two choices that voters have. I've personally prosecuted transnational criminal organizations in the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. I have spent a significant part of my career making sure that our border is secure and that we do not allow criminals in, and we don't allow that kind of trafficking to happen and come into our country. And as my opponent has proven himself, he would prefer to run on the problem instead of fix the problem. We have to have a secure border, and we have to have a comprehensive pathway for citizenship. And that includes requiring people, hardworking people, to earn citizenship and do it in a comprehensive, humane, and orderly manner.
Let me ask you about that. I mean, you talked about the bill that Donald Trump quashed. That was in 2024. You talked about the bill he tried to get passed in 2021. That wasn't able to get passed. 2022, 2023, there were record border crossings. Your administration took hundreds of executive actions. It didn't stem the flow. Numbers kept going up. Finally, in 2024, just in June, 3 weeks before the first presidential debate with Joe Biden, you institute executive actions that had a dramatic impact, really shut down people crossing over. Why didn't your administration do that in 2022, 2023?
First of all, you're exactly right, Anderson. And as of today, we have cut the flow of immigration by over half. In fact, the numbers I saw most recently, illegal immigration.
But if it was that easy with that
finish.
executive action, why not do it in 2022, 2023?
Because we were working with Congress and hoping that actually we could have a long-term fix to the problem instead of a short-term fix.
You couldn't have done one and both at the same time?
Well, here's the thing. We have to understand that ultimately this problem is going to be fixed through congressional action. We have dealt with it such that, to your point, we now, as of today, as of our visit, have lower undocumented immigrants and illegal immigration than Trump when he left office.
That's true.
But we need a permanent solution, and that requires bipartisan work.
Do you wish you'd done those executive orders in 2022, 2023?
I think we did the right thing, but the best thing that can happen for the American people is that we have bipartisan work happening, and I pledge to you that I will work across the aisle to fix this long-standing problem.
She's full of crap. I'm calling cap on that because at the end of the day, the bottom line is she's been in office 3.5 years and you haven't done it yet, nor have you tried to. Okay. And then she sat there and lied. We've been to the border. And he said, have you been to the border? Okay. Flat out lied about going to the border. Lady, we can't believe you. Sit down somewhere. All right. Please pay attention. And at the end of the day, she said they have less than what Trump had when he left office. But many of those people that were there when Trump was in office came through the Democrats. That's just the truth. They came through the Democrats when Obama was in office. Okay, so please make it all make sense. But in this clip right here, they allege that Kabami was drunk. I don't know. Y'all keep saying that this lady has a drinking problem. Maybe she does. I don't know. But this is what they said. It says, you're witnessing a drunk wedding speech.
I was raised to believe in a loving God, to believe that your faith is a verb, you know? You live your faith. And that the way that one should do that is that your work and your life's work should be to think about how you can serve in a way that is uplifting other people, that is about caring for other people. And that guides a lot of how I think about my work and what is important.
Okay, now does anyone have a clue what she just said? Okay, does anybody know what this woman's even talking about? Like, really? I cannot wait to see this Shannon Sharp interview. I want to hear what she has to say for an hour. How much of the time she's going to spend gaslighting and deflecting and just talking in rambles and babbles. Okay, please pay attention. This is the last video. After this, we're out of here because I have to be up in the morning and so do you to watch my broadcast. Please pay attention.
Trump sat for a 3-hour interview yesterday with Joe Rogan, who has nearly 16 million followers on Spotify and hugely influential with young men. And we know young men are a target in this election. We've talked a lot about the gender gap so far. So what, if anything, do you think Harris can do to close that gender gap and reach out to young men in this country over the next 10 days?
Well, really, part of the gender gap is working in Harris's favor. I mean, women overwhelmingly are breaking for Harris, but you're right, men are overwhelmingly breaking for Trump. It's been a constant conversation, I think, with both campaigns. We've seen former President Trump trying to make direct outreach to women in the same way that Harris has sort of tried to make direct outreach to men. That young voter part is really fascinating to me, though. That latest New York Times Siena poll out this week showed Harris leading among voters under 30, but only by about 12 points. Now, that's compared to over 20 points that Biden won that group, sort of those young voters under 30 back in 2020. I mean, young voters under 30 are normally sort of a bread and butter demographic for Democrats. So the big question, are some of them really considering voting for Trump? The poll would suggest so. Are some of them considering staying home? I think that both candidates are very aware that any real change in those voters and sort of the behavior of those voters under 30 could be hugely consequential in this election.
Well, that all being said, at the end of the day, we have just a few more days left for the election, and Kamala is just not cutting the mustard, okay? This is just not working out for her, and it seems to me that they're not trying to convince her to answer these questions directly. Maybe they're too afraid, as well as she seems to be, that she's going to say the wrong thing or that people are not going to want to vote for her after they hear her real thoughts, her authentic thoughts. What does she really think about all of these things? I mean, I just have a whole lot of questions. I'm not convinced. She keeps making using the same talking points after every interview. And it's just not good as far as I'm concerned. Okay. It's just not good. Like, she's not answering anything specifically. She's not convincing people. She's saying Trump's this and Trump's that, but this is the same person who stole Trump's idea about no taxes for tips. Okay, but she wants to say he doesn't have policy. That's what she said. But then when people ask her about her policy, what does she say? Go to my website and read it. Go to your website and read it. Lady, why do we have to do that? You're right here. Just answer the question and tell us what it's all about. What's going down? And now she wants to keep talking like she's such a Christian, or Baptist. Didn't she say she grew up in a Baptist church? Now everything's, oh, the joy cometh in the morning. And then, talking about church things, but she threw people out for saying Christ is king. I'm sorry. Please make it all make sense. Okay, this woman is something else. I'm still waiting for her and Biden to say something about that man, Mossad Yusuf, making threats to U.S. politicians. I'm still waiting to hear that. How much more money are they going to give them after he made that threat? Okay? That's what I want to know about. But hold on. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. I forgot. This is the last video, I promise. And we're not even going to watch the whole thing. But I want you all to see this. Here we go.
Watching some of the town hall, I had to flip off. I had to switch off. I didn't say flip off. But and then read some sound bites today. Yeah. Here's a look at the questions, concise and simple, and the answers anything but.
2022, 2023, there were record border crossings. Your administration took hundreds of executive actions. First presidential that in 2020. Why not do it in 2022? And Ahmadiyyah build some wall.
Rights because she feels passionately about it. She could be clinical on some of these economic issues. She was great on the long-term care for the elderly. The things that would concern me is when she doesn't want to answer a question, her habit is to kind of go to word salad city. And she did that on a couple of answers. One was on Israel. Anderson asked a direct question, would you be stronger on Israel than Trump? And there was a 7-minute answer, but none of it related to the question he was asking.
Tell you something, the analysis that one of the Obama bros is giving is essentially reflecting what the former president of the United States, President Barack Obama, feels, and David Plouffe, who's now running Kamala Harris's campaign. I owe them a lot of credit from my childhood teaching me how to do community organizing, knock on doors, communicate with. She has some of the best tacticians on her campaign. The problem is they have a terrible candidate. They were used to dealing with Barack Obama, who can go out there and speak and communicate to the American people, who wanted the moderates to come and vote for him, who was called the deporter-in-chief. And now you have a candidate that has had years to craft some sort of message, and she has nothing at all for the American people. I mean, good luck.
No, this is why the answer is Donald Trump is unelectable. He's unhinged. He's too old. That is why she's going to be at the ellipse January 6th. Yeah. That's what she's going to say. Don't vote for me. Just don't vote for, vote for me because you don't want to vote for him. And that's pretty sad when they look around with their communications experts and said, but judging by your performance, we have to make him unelectable because we can't make you electable.
Yeah, that's true.
Running for president would be very difficult, right? You're asked questions, you have to think very quickly on
every answer could kill you.
Yes, exactly. So you have to be smart about it. But when it's over and over and over, that whole town hall, she wasn't answering any questions. It makes me wonder, is she prepared for this? Does she have a plan? Or is she saying, I'm a thinker, I can't answer this right now, because she needs to go backstage and ask her people what to say?
Well, and tonight she's on the stage. She's going to be down in Atlanta, and she's going to be there with Tyler Perry, Bruce Springsteen, people like that, because that's one of the ways you can get you can pack the house, and then you can get your message out. It doesn't mean everybody there is going to be saying, okay, I'm going to vote for her.
But is this a message she's going to read off a teleprompter?
I don't know. We'll have to stay tuned for that. What's interesting is the number of people who this cycle are sitting it out. Warren Buffett put out a statement through his company website yesterday that said there's a lot of fake news on social media that I've endorsed somebody. I'm not going to endorse anybody, which is the same case as the LA Times. The news today about the LA Times not endorsing anybody is the fact that the op-ed page editor quit because apparently they were planning to endorse Kamala Harris, but the billionaire owners said, we're not going to endorse anybody this time, which flies in the face of what they have done for decades.
I just want to go back to Ainsley's point about someone that ran for president back in 2019, that is the current vice president of the United States, that when faced with issues of the country says she's still thinking about things.
Yeah.
I mean, in any other job, you're asking us to hire you and you don't know the answers to the questions.
She's 12 days away from a
Yes, why are you 12 days out and you don't know how to fix the border? Why are you 12 days out and you still don't have an answer on how to lower the price of groceries? I mean, that makes zero sense. In any other job, it would be disqualifying.
And why are these jobs so important now to secure the border, to fix the grocery prices? Why weren't they over the last 3.5 years when she was saying the border is secure?
And you also you notice how many Denny's are closing, how many Fridays are closing. These are basic food
people
prices.
can't afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting to see why these so many of these franchises.
3 fabulous restaurants just closed here in New York.
Okay, so no lies detected, okay? At the end of the day, everything they said about her is true. She's had all of this time to come up with answers and solutions, and she hasn't done anything. But we're supposed to believe that miraculously, if she gets in office, then she's going to make all these changes. She's going to secure the border. She's going to stop the groceries from being so high and all of this. Yeah, I don't believe a word of it. TC Dan says, I have concerns about Kamala and her authenticity. She's also alienating some of her own base with aligning with the likes of Cheney and ignoring Gaza, etc. Absolutely. And here's the thing. It is, in my opinion, that Cheney is a warmonger. Okay. When she's talking about these Republicans who are siding with her over Trump, these are the same people who love war. Okay. Who condone and promote war. This is my opinion at the end of the day. And so is that a good look? All right. Is that a good look? And thank you, Dan, for your insight into the topic, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, what I want to say in closing is this. You know, we've seen her interviews. We've seen Trump's interviews. Now, if we're just being honest, who would you say fares better in interviews? Once, if you think Kamala does better in interviews, and twos, if you think Trump does better. One's for Kamala and two's for Trump. So let's see. And also, I thought it was very interesting how the young lady whose TikTok video I showed you basically said that people like Beyonce are perhaps trying to cater to Kabami because they want to take the focus off of the fact that they've been to some of Diddy's freak-offs and that they're in the news, you know, mentioned with Diddy. Okay. Are they thinking that if anything goes down and they get accused of anything salacious, such as Diddy, well, maybe Kabami will pardon them? Is that what they're thinking? You know, I just have questions because all of these people that are coming out here, many of them, not all, but these celebrities, that is, these are the people that were allegedly at Diddy's freak-offs. Okay, please pay attention. Please pay attention. So it looks like the twos have it. Okay, so everybody's saying that Trump does better interviews than her. I mean, he actually does. The truth is the truth. Don't hate me. That's just how I feel about it too. At least he answers the questions. Okay, at least, and one thing about it is Trump doesn't need a teleprompter. Sometimes Trump just goes straight off the top of his dome, no matter what the question is. He can do it. Can she do the same? No. When all else fails, let me just blame Trump. But we're sick of it. We're tired of it. Now, Trump has thrown dirt at her. He's thrown shade at her. He's clowned her. He said stuff about her. But what he hasn't done, at least not to my knowledge, what he hasn't done is deflected when he's asked what he's going to do, what his policies are. He's never turned around and blamed it on her. But even if he had, he'd be telling the truth likely because her and Biden have made this mess that we're all now living in. They have created this mess. And she doesn't even have any good answers as to how she's going to fix it if she gets in office. Please make it all make sense. And then when she talks about, you know, Trump taking away democracy, as I told you plenty of times, what about them wanting to censor us? These are the Democrats who want to censor us. She calls Trump a fascist, but she's a Marxist, and so's her father. And at the end of the day, she also reminds me of a communist because those are the types that want you to shut the hell up. Let them paint the narrative. And if you don't like it, just fall in line anyway, because how dare you go against what they've already said. Okay, her and Hillary have already come out and let us know where they stand as it pertains to American citizens having freedom of speech, as it pertains to us being able to critique the government policies and things that they put out, or anything that they have planned for us that we disapprove of, anything they want to mandate us to do that we don't feel like we should have to do. They've already told us how they feel about it, that we should shut the hell up and don't have anything to say. And now to add insult to injury, you mean to tell me they're passing bills where the military can come on out here in the streets and murk U.S. citizens, if we're saying things against the government, that's real crazy. Okay? That's real crazy. But quiet on Mossad Yusuf. So just think about all of these things at the end of the day. Ask yourselves, how was the economy when Trump was in office? How is the economy now? Okay? Ask yourself and just be honest with yourself. How were gas prices? Were eggs $10,000 when Trump was in office? Because just a few months ago, they were about $10,000. Y'all know I'm exaggerating, but the eggs and everything was so expensive. Everything is so much higher than it should be and than it normally is. And if Kabami and Joe Biden didn't fix it now, in the time they've been in office, why should we dare to think that she's going to do anything other than what she's already been doing? Okay. She basically told us the truth the first time. Like Maya Angelou says, when people show you who they are, believe them. And this is who Kabami is. She showed us when she was on The View, when they first asked her, how is her administration going to be different than Biden's? She said there's not going to be any differences. She said there's not going to be any changes. And then after people started going in, then she said, well, I'm gonna have my own policies. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. She's trying to separate herself from Biden, but at the same time, she won't admit that he was having cognitive issues. But he was having them. And if not, why is she running? So she just makes no sense, and she'll continue to make no sense. And people who vote for her and praise her and think that she's the greatest thing since sliced bread, they also make no sense. Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please like and share the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and be sure to tune in the morning for the latest on Diddy. Okay, TC Dan says, despite critique of Waltz, I think he was actually Kamala's smartest move because he actually has a political record that is popular with libs and the left. Well, that remains to be seen as far as I'm concerned, because what I want to know about him is, are these allegations true? I'm waiting to see what the whistleblower is going to do and what's coming out next. They've said it's Russian disinformation, but that remains to be seen as far as I'm concerned. Okay, that's what I want to know about, because when people say stuff like this, and at the end of the day, this person supposedly said that they don't want to see him on TV every day, and they darn sure don't want to see him having anything to do with the White House. Okay, allegedly. So we'll just see how this all turns out at the end of the day. So everyone, please get the likes up. Thank you, Dan, for your insight into the topic and for your contribution to the channel. Okay, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude the broadcast. Someone says, hold on. Queen, can you interview Allie Carter? I'm sure I could. I don't know that I will. I have some interviews coming up, and she's not one. I'm trying to get Jill Stein. I need to try to work on that this week. Okay, that's what I plan to be working on tomorrow and Tuesday, hopefully. With that all being said, I mean, sometimes people have so much interview footage already out there. To me, there's no use in even interviewing them because it's going to be the same old same. I don't know. Maybe I will. I don't know. I haven't decided. Okay. I hadn't even thought about it until you literally just said so. Okay. So with that all being said, she claims she's Tupac's daughter. Yeah, she does claim that. Okay. I'm not going to speak on that because I don't know if she is or isn't. Okay. I've never heard Tupac say anything about her, and I knew Tupac in real life. So I don't know. With that all being said, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Okay, Aqua Girl says, yes, Jill, please. Yes, I definitely want to get her on here. Okay, so that being said, I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace. And I'll see you all in the morning, bright and early. Okay, I think I'm going to be on at about 9 o'clock. All right, see you later.
Sold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got